So a very warm welcome, everyone. We're absolutely thrilled to see so many practitioners around the world logged in for our first conference call. Over 40 registrations, so that's great. Thank you for your interest and support. I'm Dawn Campbell, your host and guide for the public pages of our website tour, and I'm supported today by our CEO, David Monroe-Jones, our Head of Education, Nikki Wild, and our ever helpful and patient webmaster, Paul Holton, who will each take turns to give you a guided tour of their specialist areas. So the aims and objectives of this conference call is to help you become as familiar as we are with this site. We think we've created something wonderful, very crisp, clean, modern, and user-friendly, but we want you to benefit from it. So this guided tour is for you. The format is, we'll each take about 10 minutes or so to show you our area, and that will be followed by a quick Q&A where you can unmute yourself and ask any questions before we move on to the next session. Adele McCormack, Head of Professional Standards, is on maternity, so I will show you her area. So I hope you can all see my screen and you can see that we are on the home page, and I'm sure this logo is very familiar to you all by now, as is the strapline. Through accreditation, we build trust and confidence in the coaching and mentoring profession for the benefit of everyone. I won't go into the whys and the wherefores in any particular detail, and I'm not going to open every single page or read every single line to you. I just want you to become familiar with the pages that you're likely to need, because I'm conscious of the fact that some of our attendees today have not yet become accredited, and some are considering upgrading, and some have some courses that they want to get accredited. But also you need to know, where do the public look when they're looking for you and when they want to hire an accredited professional? So we've created these boxes, and they are what they say on the tin, basically. So anybody who wants to understand more about why accreditation matters will go to this page. Anybody who's seeking to become accredited will find easy access here, their course accreditation here, and then of course corporate accreditation for those companies who have in-house coaching and mentoring programs. We wanted a website that very much reflected the fact that we're in the coaching and mentoring profession, so it's all about a conversation. So you can see at a glance, it's not a heavy text-laden website. It's very graphic orientated, and there's lots of little videos, because we didn't want you to have to read pages and pages of text to find what you were looking for. But if you want to talk to any of us, then simply contact us through the talk to one of our team page, and you can actually request tea, coffee, or in my case a smoothie, and we'll meet face to face on Zoom, on Skype, even you know, in person if it's logistically possible. Professional standards, who our networking partners are, and this is a section that will obviously grow and evolve as we come across other industry professionals like ourselves. We're committed to keeping our members up to date with information and also some offers. So for instance, the Association of Coaching Supervisors, we want them to give us a discount so that our coaches can benefit from supervision, which is becoming increasingly a popular request. Professional development is all about CPD and education. Membership options are for those people who don't necessarily want to go through the accreditation process, but they want to align themselves with an organisation like ourselves, because perhaps they're in HR or training, and coaching plays some element of their role. There's a new benefits leaflet which is going to be uploaded today, and I will send everybody a copy. And that is a summary of all the benefits so that you know exactly what you're getting in terms of a return on investment. And then obviously these are two sections which are important to the public. How do they find a coach or a mentor, and how do they find a coach training provider? Nearly every page has a 2-3 minute video, mostly in the dulcet tones of our CEO, David. And they're just very quick auditory links to more information, and then you can read about it if you want more information. And this rather official looking logo is the International Regulator for Coaching and Mentoring, so the industry's ombudsman. And scrolling down the page is anything that you want to know about us in terms of who we are, what we do, why we do what we do. And you'll see, and I'm sure you've read about it before in the In Touch newsletter and the weekly bulletins, we've actually had professionally designed some digital e-guides that you can put on your own website. Everything that we're doing is designed to help you raise your profile and help the clients identify you as a professional. So for instance, if we take the UK market, 130 estimated thousand coaches, how do you stand out in a very crowded market? Well, one of the ways you can do that is by making sure that your clients and your prospects are really clear about the fact that you have committed to an industry standard, and we're providing the marketing material for you to reinforce that message. So if I can just show you in a bit more detail by moving that guide to choose your coach. So this is what the client will see when you put the link on your website. It's a little guide, some testimonials, why it's important, the benefits of coaching, questions you should ask before you hire your coach, ending with, if your coach doesn't have one of these certificates, you might want to reevaluate your list. And the same for the coach training providers. I'll just move this back up here, out of the way. More information about our mission and vision. I mean, essentially, we're all about protecting students and the public and the coaches. So whether it's the public who are hiring a coach, we want them to feel that their well-being is protected, and we want coaches and students who are upskilling and training to become coaches to feel protected when they choose an accredited training provider. So relationships matters. As I say, it's all about having a conversation. We're here for you, and we're doing our bit for the planet. So we're a paperless office. So your certificates, your logos, all the guides that we provide, they're all digital. Okay. To find out more about who we are, we have a page on vision and values. We also have chosen charities. At the moment, we've only got one charity listed. We have at least half a dozen that we're also considering or talking to. And one of the charities that we support at the moment is called Lend with Care. Now, that's an organisation that helps small entrepreneurs, very much like ourselves, in underprivileged organisations though. So they're providing practical support on the ground, and the way we're supporting them is with financial support to pay for trainers, coaches and mentors. So it's very much aligned with what we do. And we'll be creating a Just Giving account so that members can join in and support that as well. But there are other charities that will be coming on board later. Meet the support team. As I said, David, Nikki, Paul, myself are on the call. Adele can't make it, but if you want to find out a little bit more about us, some of our favourite quotes, why volunteering is important to us, because as you know, this organisation is run by coaches and mentors for the benefit of coaches and mentors. And if you want to join us, then you can find out more about us here, and a growing list of testimonials both from training providers and our accredited members. The next tab at the top is accreditation. I'm not going to go into that in any detail because that's David's section. Likewise, education. Nikki will be talking you through the complementary business of coaching and mentoring program she's put together. But I will talk to you about professional standards in Adele's absence. So why are professional standards important? Well, they're important to us as practitioners, but they're also important to the public. And we're very much aligned to the medical profession in that we want to do no harm, and we want to work with our clients and recognize that we're working with our clients' minds as well as their physical well-being, their environment, etc. So we felt it was very important to set some professional standards and put those into a code of professional conduct, which everybody signs. And this is something that I would recommend that you download from the members area and upload onto your website. Likewise, the complaints procedure. We've created a generic complaints procedure which you can tailor to suit your own needs, but it reinforces to the client that in the event something does go wrong, and it does happen from time to time, whether it's because there's a lack of contract or a lack of detail or understanding of boundaries and expectations, sometimes you know, a complaint is going to be raised, and Adele is the person who would mediate and look after all of that. We have put together a 20-minute roundtable discussion about how the complaints procedure works and why the professional standards are there to support both us as practitioners, but also as clients. And then lastly, CPD, that fits into the professional standards remit in so much as, you know, any of us who are upgrading to senior, to master, to fellow, it's part of our ongoing professional journey. So again, when you go to the members accredited area, you can download a CPD log if you need one, and keep that as your record, because certainly when you come to the accreditation stage, it will be needed. Okay, so let's look at the blog. The blog is a very exciting and interesting place to contribute, because as you will see, Ian, who's on the call, he had an interview with me, and there are articles, there are coaching conversations, there are special offers. Now, I don't want to be writing all this content. This is a platform for you guys to promote yourself, your services, your products, your special offers, and your testimonials, etc. So we have a team that we've hired called Social Buzzing, and they send all our blogs to all of our social media sites, which you can't actually see at the moment because our photographs have obliterated it. But Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, etc. So all the blogs are now sent to all those social media platforms, and we collectively need to be liking, sharing, following, and in particular commenting on the blogs, because it creates this unified message about educating and encouraging the public to hire and work with accredited professionals. So what happens then? The public read our blogs and it sends them to the directory, which is here. And they will either look for a coach or mentor that perhaps has been mentioned in a blog, or they will go and look at one of the accredited training courses if they're wanting to upskill. So those are the key pages, but there's a couple of other things I just want to quickly show you. Opportunities. So this is where I will be posting things like volunteer opportunities and also work opportunities. So we have a network partner who requires from time to time career coaches, and this is where I will be advertising those work opportunities that come in for you. The opportunity that I'm promoting at the moment, and you'll have seen it in our weekly and monthly newsletters, is that until the end of the month, the application form is open to co-author our book initiative. Okay. Then Paul is going to talk to you about this all-important button for those accredited practitioners on the line, the members area. But lastly, I'll just show you, this is the contact page. Because we want to hear from you. And what we're finding is, since the new website came on board, since we have a closer relationship with people when we're accrediting them, we're talking a lot more to our members than we ever did before. So always feel free to contact us, whether you've got a PR issue that you want to brainstorm, or you're stuck with something in your business plan. You know, I'm here particularly to help you develop that side of your business. So if you'd like to unmute yourself now before I hand you over, we'll have a Q&A session. So if anybody has any questions about the pages that I've shown, any pages you want me to quickly revisit or explain in more detail, now's your chance.
Dawn, I just wanted to pop in immediately.
Yes, sir.
With the job offers,
Yeah.
you mentioned that it was executive coaching. Will you be expanding that so
Oh,
that
absolutely.
it includes, because that isolates me, like, it's like,
Yeah.
that's not something I can apply for.
Yeah, the only network arrangement that we have at the moment is a company that requires master coaches specifically in the career area. But one of our remits, certainly for next year, this year has been very much about a period of consolidation. And we're still tweaking and improving the website so that you have the best possible experience. But next year, we will be bringing in work opportunities at all levels. Having said that, we do actually have some opportunities at a practitioner level now, either pro bono or very low paid, by people who can't yet afford a coach, but still want to benefit from coaching. So there will be opportunities like that, and they will appear on the blog or in a weekly bulletin. Anybody else?
Just one other thing. I take it you'll be going on to the whole accreditation and how to get accredited, like later on in the video, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
the
that's cool.
very next session, and that's David, because I know that that's an area you're interested in.
Absolutely.
Yes. Anybody else got any other observations, queries, concerns, questions? Or I hand over to David for his section on accreditation. No? Okay, great. Okay, David, over to you then, please. Now, would you like me to stop screen sharing and for you to do your own, or just tell me what you want me to do? David?
Tell you what, I'll unmute myself, and then that might make life a little bit easier. If you want to just keep your screen up, Dawn, that'll be absolutely fine.
Okay.
And just start with that tab you're on there, the accreditation one, will be great.
Okay.
Okay, so as you're all probably aware, the whole remit of the organisation when it was established way back in 2004 was to provide accreditation to coaches, mentors and training providers. At the time it was established, mentoring wasn't really sort of like a big feature, and that became more and more prevalent sort of like as the years went on. And the one key thing about accreditation is it's one step above a certification. So if you work on a principle of the example that we often choose, if you go to a college or a university and you gain a qualification, then that university or college has to be accredited in order to be able to provide that accreditation, which is why some colleges will only go up to, in the UK, A level, others will go up to degree, and so on and so on and so forth. So our accreditation model is based around some work that Oxford Brookes University did, and it's specifically Oxford Brookes coaching and mentoring department within their university. And they wrote an article about capability versus competence. And I was interested in the article, and to cut a very long and complicated story short, I contacted Brookes University. I asked if the information was copyright or if it was available for anybody to use. They said the latter. They also said that they were putting together a pack that people could take away and utilize. So we waited for that. We looked at their pack. We decided that we could improve it, and we tweaked it. And what you see in front of you is the model that we have. And the 4 interlocking circles are the most important aspect of the accreditation process. Because what we identified was that one of the problems with competency models in particular is that they are quite static, and in order to make them dynamic, you have to keep revisiting them and revisiting them and revisiting them. And the capability approach identifies a way which is much more holistic and allows us to look at the professionalism and the capability across a number of different areas. And the 4 areas that we look at are underpinning knowledge and understanding. So basically, what have you done? What do you know? What do you understand by what you know? And how do you apply theory into practice? We have skills and behaviours, and skills and behaviours are looked at through skills assessment for all levels of accreditation, which I'll come on to, and at an interview stage, more so for senior master and fellow level, depending upon which route you come through. Everybody is required to undergo a reflective practice, and reflective practice is looking at how you consider the work that you've done and how you learn from that. So everybody who goes through a skills assessment is required then to undertake a personal reflection afterwards. That personal reflection moves into developing capability, because that is how you take your learning plan and apply it into such things as CPD. And that is your commitment to development. So for example, during the interview stage, some of the questions that we might investigate would be, what your understanding of coaching is, what is your commitment to your own personal development, how do you map your own CPD, what do you understand by the differences between coaching, mentoring, counselling, psychotherapy, and all of those sorts of areas in order to understand and be able to accurately measure your capability in a certain area. And in doing that, what we end up with is a much more comprehensive, a much more accurate reflection of the people that we accredit during the process. And it works really, really well. Okay, so if we have a look then at why accreditation matters, the simple answer to that is it just does. So like, fundamentally, it matters. And it matters for a number of reasons. More and more, certainly in the corporate world, people are starting to ask the questions about, right, well, what qualifications do you have? Are you accredited? What does that actually mean? And one of our remits, in fact, so like the main remit, is building awareness about the importance of accreditation right across the sort of the public sphere. And more members of the public are visiting our website, they're checking out the directories, and then they're coming back to us in some cases and asking us, is this training provider or is this coach actually accredited with you? So they're starting to become more and more in tune with the importance of having an accreditation. The two examples we use, you wouldn't want to fly in a plane with somebody who only watched Flight Simulator, and you certainly wouldn't want to go into surgery with somebody who'd read Surgery for Dummies. There's an importance to it. And if you're going to put your life in the hands of somebody who can do a lot of good, but equally if they do the wrong thing in the wrong way, it can do an awful lot of damage, then people need to be accredited. The other aspect of why accreditation matters is it's an ability to stand up and say, yeah, I'm professionally qualified, I'm trained, I've also been accredited, I've gone through a process whereby my capability has been examined, and only if I reach the required mark, the required standard, will I have been awarded that accreditation. And for those of you who've been accredited and for those of you who are thinking about it, the standards that we set, we stick to. So if you don't reach the required standard, you don't pass. And we do have a number of people who have not achieved the required pass mark, and we've gone back to them and we've supported them in that development. We've provided them with feedback, we've provided them with CPD opportunities, and then we've encouraged them to come back and retake sort of the assessment at the end of that. The ones who have come back, and the difference between their first assessment and their second assessment is significantly different. And in all cases, everyone has said that they have learned from that process. So in terms of the different types of accreditation we have, if we go into individual, Dawn, please. Thank you. In terms of individual accreditation, we have 4 different levels. We have a practitioner level, senior level, master level, and fellow level. The boxes that you see there will be populated. This is part of the updating of the website. And what we have done with the approach to the new website is try to simplify the information so that when people look at the requirements, they understand exactly like what it is that they need to have in order to progress, what evidence you need to provide us, what capability you need to demonstrate to us, and what the pass marks are as well. Generally speaking, practitioner level, so like is entry level, 60 hours, senior 750 hours of actual practice, master 1500, and fellow 2500. And we encourage everybody to progress from whatever level you come in at onto the next level. Again, support is available through that, through both the education process, through CPD, through contacting either Dawn or myself, so that we can offer some guidance if necessary. And the whole process is designed to encourage you to recognize your own achievement. It's very easy for us to say, oh yes, you've achieved that mark, thank you very much, have a nice day. It's more than that. When we say to you that you've passed and you've achieved your accreditation at whatever level, that means that you have demonstrated something that other people might not be able to do that are in a similar position. So we always encourage you to recognize and promote yourself as an accredited coach. Just scroll down a little bit, Dawn, if you could, please. Thank you. We've also introduced a VIP, a very important pensioners aspect. So anybody who has, as we've said there, sort of aged in both years and wisdom, and has achieved pensionable age, so will be entitled to a discount, 50% discount, and that is done so like via the coupon code. And then below that, you have the information with regards to the different boxes, and in order to apply, you literally view the criteria and apply. Accredited route, as most of you will be aware, if you've trained with one of our accredited training providers, you get a discounted application fee. For those of you who have not trained with one of our training providers, then you would come through the non-accredited route. It's a slightly different fee, and in some cases there are some additional pieces of evidence to provide as well. Annual renewal is the same for all of the individual levels. If you could go on to course accreditation, Dawn. Thank you. We've recently revised course accreditation as well. We have changed the wording. The reason that we've changed the wording was that we originally had accredited workshop, and we had accredited short course, and we had accredited training course as some of the titles. And as a number of people pointed out, well, surely a short course is a workshop, and surely a workshop is a short course, and surely all of them are accredited training course. And we got into that sort of a tangled bit of spaghetti. So what we decided to do was to alter the wording so that it was more reflective of progression, in the same way that individual accreditation moves from practitioner to senior to master to fellow, that the wording on the training courses moved in a similar way. So at the equivalent of level 3, we have accredited short training course. Then at level 4, we have accredited foundation training course. At level 5, cue to scroll. Thank you. At level 5, we have intermediate. Level 6, we have an advanced training program, and level 7 is now retitled as accredited extensive training program. I'm going to let Dawn in a little while talk to you about accredited professional development, which is something that we have added. For the course accreditations, the process is much the same. Dawn and I will have an initial interview and conversation once somebody has filled out an application form. During the conversation, we'll talk about what evidence is required, which tends to be things from a course perspective of the course criteria, testimonials if the course has already been run, evidence of assessments, and so on and so forth, depending upon the level of the course. Similarly, with individual accreditation, the higher the level of the course, the more information we're going to require. We've also looked at accreditation for corporates. We were working with one organisation until recently, and we're hoping to work with them again. They are in the process of updating and amending their internal mentoring program. Dawn, did you want to mention APD at this point?
Yes, definitely. This is a very exciting development, because I, like you, have probably got material that you might like to have accredited. Having talked to a lot of practitioners, they might run a workshop or a weekend event, or even just a one-day specialist course on something, and mine just happens to be on coaching nutrition. So the development of the Accredited Professional Development APD course is really suitable for people like you and me. It's not just for the big coach training providers who run courses. So just bear in mind, if you have an offering that you want to raise the profile of it and have it accredited because you're accredited, it's something that you might want to consider as well. So the application form is just a flat fee of £3.90 with an annual renewal fee of £90 a year. So that's something that we've brought in for the practitioners that I know has been well received so far.
The other aspect I would add about course accreditation is the simple question about, why should you get your course accredited? And the reason for that is simply, when you have members of the paying public coming to you and they know that your course is accredited, and one of the requirements is that all courses are delivered by accredited facilitators, then they have the confidence that not only the course but the facilitator themselves excuse me, has the necessary skills and ability not only to deliver the program, but to be able to answer the relevant questions that people might ask as part of the program. If you can just highlight accreditation again at the top, Dawn, please.
Yeah.
And then I'll just make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so that generally covers accreditation. The process is relatively straightforward. One of the things that I would say is that it is completely driven time-wise by anybody who applies. We will encourage and we will support, but we are not here to provide 24-hour nudging, although it does feel like that sometimes. So we have two quotes that we recommend to people. One of them is from Stephen Covey, which is begin with the end in mind. And the other one is John Cotter's, always create a sense of urgency. And if you treat your accreditation or your reaccreditation or your upgrade in exactly the same way that you would if you were working with a client and their expectations and your expectations of what they were saying that they were going to do around commitment, determination, and courage, then you will get through the process relatively quickly. Once we've got all of the information in, it's a relatively quick process, anything from 1 day up to 5 days, depending upon who's in front of you, really. So very similar to Dawn. If anybody has any questions, then I'm happy to answer.
I have a question. I'll just jump in. There's two things. First out, the site looks amazing, and I just love the way it's all set out.
Thank you.
In terms of the different sections of practitioner, senior, master, fellow, obviously when someone comes on, the master and the fellow are going to be like, wow, that's awesome, I want a master and a fellow. So how are you going to add credence, I guess, to someone who's just a practitioner? Like, how will you make them appear as good as they are?
Okay. When people go through the accreditation process, we have quite a detailed feedback mechanism. So if at practitioner level they have their assessment, they'll be provided with their feedback, which will identify all of the things that they need to develop. The second stage of that, so during the feedback process, is very much about encouraging them to maintain their CPD So everybody who is accredited, excuse me, has to maintain 30 hours a year per rolling year of CPD. So they continue to do that. They continue to keep a coaching log, and through a combination of that and keeping in touch with us, then the next stage would be to upgrade to senior, and then the next part of that would be to upgrade to master. So the difference, or the application difference between the two is really from practitioner to senior, you need to have more training, more CPD, so you might need to attend another course, and you need to have more evidence of actual experience as a coach. So if somebody then applies for their senior and they go through the process, it'll be slightly different because there'll be an interview stage at that point as well. Then at the end of that, they will equally receive feedback from their interview, and feedback is never just you answered that well. Feedback will always include that was a really good answer, here is some additional information you might want. Here is something else that you might want to consider. Here is something else that you can use to develop your skills. And it's exactly the same at the actual live coaching call as well. The pass mark changes. So at practitioner it's 70%, at senior it's 75%, master is 80%, and fellow is 85%. So there is a requirement to demonstrate more capability. At fellow level is more than often by invitation only. There are some people who have applied, that was more so in the past, but more lately, either Dawn or I, or Nikki or Adele, might identify somebody and say, look, that person really wants to be invited to become a fellow. The difference between a fellow and a master is simply that at fellow level, there is an expectation that you're doing something above and beyond within the coaching or the mentoring or the training course or arena. So you're doing something for the community, and that might be running courses, it might be writing books, it might be doing quite a lot of pro bono work, you might be working for a charity, the list is endless, but it's just something that is a little bit more than I've got the number of hours and I've got that amount of training. Because one of the things that we found in the past is that people can come to us and they can be educated to PhD level, but when you actually sit people down and say, right, coach somebody, and you're going to be assessed on that coaching, they tend to be, not in all cases, but in some cases, they tend not to be able to demonstrate, as much as what the, what the paper qualification would outline. So for us, it's very much about, demonstrate what you can do. The paper bit is great, but it's, how do you transfer that theory into action? Now, one of the things that I really want to do, and it's on the agenda for moving forward, is as well as the business course that Nikki will talk about, I want to introduce, and I'm talking loosely here because I haven't quite got my head around how it would work, but I want to introduce something where people can, for example, somebody's a practitioner, they want to progress, who can support them? I want to be able to set something up whereby people can contact other people within the IAPC&M who are willing to give their time as potentially coach mentors to help those people either develop their skills or their training, not necessarily the business bit because the business of coaching does that, but who can maybe act as just a coach for them or a mentor who can help them further develop their skills. And if we can set something up like that, and a number of other organizations have such schemes, and I know that because I'm a mentor on both of them, is that it gives people an additional route to further develop what they're doing. And that might be, it might not be talking to somebody about their coaching, because that links into the Association of Coaching Supervisors. But if it's working with somebody to gain additional skills, or just chat to somebody about, I've heard about brain-based coaching, for example, who could I talk to? I've heard about neuroscience is the new, the new word on the block. what do you know about that? What book should I be reading? We want to encompass all of that as part of the development options for people. And the research library that we're putting together, again, is about giving people, access to as much information as we can in order to, help people develop, but also help them to then work with their clients.
Can I add something in? Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Nikki.
I think I think part of what Henry's question raises is when members of the public come to the website and go to the directory to seek a coach. If I've understood Henry correctly, it was the question around if somebody is looking for a coach and they go, oh, I want to work with a fellow because that's the best or that's the cream of the crop. So how do the practitioners get found in the directory? And I think maybe, I don't know if Dawn, you want to say something about how people make their profile look as attractive as it can, regardless of your accreditation level, making sure that your profile is welcoming and is appealing to the type of clients that coaches and mentors want to work with, so that you connect with the right potential clients regardless of your level of accreditation. Because some clients, yes, they might want to, they might have a perception around practitioner, senior, etc. But actually, it's, as we all know, it's much more important about finding the right coach who can get you the right results. So I don't know, Dawn, if you want to just mention something about those directory profiles, if that's appropriate.
Yeah. I was kind of going to say exactly the same thing, so thank you, Nikki. Because yes, Henry, you're right. If you're starting out as a practitioner, how do you stand out when your competition potentially is senior coaches, master coaches, and so on? But you also have to remember that there are enough coaches out there for the clients, and not every client wants a senior or a master or can even afford one. So Nikki's absolutely right. Create the best possible profile, and I will help you do that. And it's to do with having your a photograph, your logo, as much information as possible, and making yourself accessible, because at the end of the day, people buy people. And actually, the support material that we put together for you in terms of the marketing and the PR is exactly the same, whether you're a practitioner or a master. You get exactly the same level of marketing, certificates, logos, etc. They just might have different words on. So
okay.
Support is the same. And I can see you've started walking off for your interview already. So hopefully
I am. I just wanted to ask just one more little thing. So I've done a lot of pro bono work, and I'm sort of pushing on 300 hours now. Wait, I need to double check that. So I know that in the ICF they require paid coaching sessions to move on to accreditation. How does that work with you guys?
It's interesting that you raised that question, because one of the things that we've been considering, and we have considered a lot in the past, is that a certain percentage of your coaching practice should be billable. And more, a number of people have approached us and said, much the same. A lot of it's pro bono, or I work in a charity, or I'm in an organization, so technically I'm being paid, but really I'm not. And the simple answer that we've come up with is, it doesn't matter. What matters is how good a coach you are.
Yeah.
So what you will find on the new structure is that we've removed the requirement to have a certain percentage of billable hours, and focused on, how many hours of coaching do you actually have? Because at the end of the day, who are we to say that you're a better coach when you get paid for it than when you don't? It's highly subjective. We will know how good you are as a coach when you go through the capability process.
Okay, that's hugely encouraging. Thank you, David.
And the next section, Henry, I know that you're walking, so but I will send you a recording afterwards, is we're handing over to Nikki, who's going to explain the business support, because we've created this program particularly aimed at practitioners who may well qualify as great coaches but lack the business acumen and skills to turn what they want to do into a practice. So this next section possibly arguably for some people is the most important. So over to you, Nikki, please.
Can I ask a question before, please?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Hi, it's Pauline from Lebanon.
Hello, Pauline.
Hi, I just have a small question because in Lebanon and in the region, it's the ICF who's very well known, and the IAPC&M, I came to know about it from Noble Manhattan. And I've asked, and mainly in the Middle East, they know about ICF. Is there any plan to give more visibility to IAPC&M in the region? Because our coaches that will graduate from Noble Manhattan will be members of this. So we will have a pool of coaches who will be part of your network mainly. It's their choice in the end if they want to be ICF as well or not, but they have the possibility of going immediately with IAPC&M. So are there any plans for the Middle East? How is it going to move on now that we have students in the region?
Yes, the answer is yes. We've got lots of plans to support all our countries because we've got practitioner members in all the countries over Europe and also a lot in Asia. So we're working very hard on raising the profile of our practitioners and what we offer coaches who want to become professionally accredited. And that's why we've teamed up with Social Buzzing to do that work for us. And, you know, we have things in the pipeline like coaching awards, perhaps a live conference as opposed to a virtual, but those are all plans for the future.
Okay, because it's very important because now you'll be having a pool in the region as well, and we need to raise awareness for them.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And we will be working very closely with people like you, Pauline, who are newly becoming established in an area and need more PR support. Definitely that help is there for you. So for instance, when a training provider set up in Sri Lanka, we did conference calls, we attended their introduction days and evenings by Zoom, and that was how we were able to support them from a distance. So we're open to all ideas and suggestions to help you either develop your practice or your training business.
Excellent, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else with a question about accreditation before we move over to Nikki, please?
Yes, please, Dawn, I have.
Hello, Anne.
Hi. I noticed as we went through there, although I didn't recognise that David had actually said it, that the accreditation now lasts for 3 years.
Yes.
And I can understand the rationale behind that. I've read the piece on the screen and so on, but that would be where I am, that it's well over 3 years since I was accredited. So obviously I'd need to go through a process. And presumably all the information, the detail about that is on the site somewhere?
Yes, everybody started from a clean sheet last August. So
okay.
Yes, everybody's 3 years started from last August, so the earliest is going to be 2021. So, and you'll have plenty of notice of what it entails. So I'm glad you agree with it, because I think it's quite important not to just carte blanche give somebody a certificate and then whether it's a training provider not check whether they're adding new material or new trainers that we don't know anything about. And likewise with the coaches, you know, we can get a little bit familiar and have bad habits like we do when we're driving. So periodically just having that little reassessment keeps us focused on doing the best and maintaining those industry standards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking 3 years hence, so
I don't need to panic.
No, not at all.
And just I'll mute myself again in a minute, but just again would like to say, as Henry did, the site looks fantastic. You know, I'm really impressed with what you guys have done over the last.
Good. Thank you. Well, Paul's done an amazing job in translating our vision and mission to have a site that was more engaging. And he knows it's a work in progress, you know, because we're always addressing feedback, because finally we seem to be in a position where people are talking to us more. You know, last year we would never have dreamt of having 40 people wanting to come on a conference call. So I think we're all working in the same sort of direction with the same vision and mission. And finally, we're all sharing that and feeling proud to be ambassadors, not only of the organisation, but of the industry, and pulling together. And it shows and things like this. So thank you for that feedback.
Thank you.
Dawn, I've just got a quick question.
Yes, please.
In terms of every year you need to have the 30 hours CPD.
Yeah.
So I'm chartered with the Institute of Personal Development. And is it required that because you can get lots of courses, but they don't have the logo. So in order to achieve the 30 hours, would it have to be a course that specifically says these are counted towards your CPD or not?
Not at all. We're all grown-ups. We trust you. You know, you might do some self-study through listening to Tony Robbins' CDs. You read a Stephen Covey book. You attend a course. Anything at all that you deem as putting aside an investment time-wise that you are developing yourself, you put down on your CPD form. If there was something questionable, obviously we'd come back to you. But no, we don't need a CPD stamp on it, on each thing that you do.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, please? Nope. Okay, thank you. So over to Nikki to explain the initiative that she launched end of last year then.
Hello. I'm going to try and take over the screen sharing just so it's easier than me trying to work Dawn by remote control.
Okay.
Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully this will allow me. You should still be seeing the education page on your screens.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. When the public will see just a top level introduction when on the main site, if you're not accredited yet, you'll be able to see just the overview of the education section, which has got a small introductory video, and then a little bit around the philosophy. As Dawn's just said, we want to be able to give some assistance to the coaches and mentors who are brilliant coaches and mentors and are perhaps struggling with some of the areas of having that as a paid profession. So particularly our survey last summer, there was a consistent piece of feedback around asking for help about how to do the marketing, how to choose pricing, all of those sort of practical aspects. And so the Business of Coaching and Mentoring program, which I'll come back to in a moment, was put together to answer some of those questions and to provide some support. In addition, we want to make sure that we're still assisting and supporting with people's ongoing development, and Dawn's already alluded to the CPD requirements under the professional standards section. And then there's also the element of the personal development, because all of us are developing ourselves alongside our professional skills. So some of the ongoing elements that I want to build into the education section will be sections around helping with personal development for us individually to work on ourselves, as alongside the work that we do for assisting our clients. And so alongside the so as I say, the public section, the public page just gives that introduction, and you can see there that there's a little image of an overview of the Business of Coaching Mentoring program. So people who have got access to sign into the accredited area, once you do that, you'll be able to sign into the education section in the accredited area, which will look slightly different. You get a different banner to confirm you're in the accredited area. And the first page gives you a video introduction to the program. There's also a shortcut back to the members area and to the course itself. And what we've done is lay it out as a sort of a mind map, so that it's easy to see which sections you might find the information you're looking for. And my intention is that every module, and they're all being recorded as videos to watch and learn from, every module will include something for the new startup. So when we're just getting started, we've got a whole load of questions about how do I do some of the practical basics. And also those of us who've been practicing for a while, who've been established, who've got our businesses already set up, but perhaps there are elements that are not working as well as we'd like, that there's also content that will assist those who are established. So for every module, there will be some element that's going to support the new startup, as well as some element that's going to support the established practitioners. And excuse me, each of these boxes in the sign up area will take you through to the page for that module, and as we record more and more of the new content, those links will take you to the videos to watch for each of those modules. I'll come back to those modules in just a moment. The other thing that will be appearing very, very, very soon, this is the hot off the press stuff, is there will also be a link under the education page within the accredited area. So this is only going to be available to our accredited coaches and mentors. There will be a link to the archive. And this is my sneaky preview for you. We've gone through, I've spent a lot of time with my team going through all the archive videos that we've recorded over the last 3 years or so, for things like International Coaching Week, Global Mentoring Week, and the ongoing CPD support over recent years. We've got a whole, I think there's just over 120 videos. About half are CPD videos. So if you can, hopefully you can see my thing. There's a secret YouTube channel that you can't see, but we're going to give you links to, and there's a whole load of videos around all sorts of practical things, making the history behind, also the archive of all those videos that are giving lots of practical advice. We didn't want to lose that archive when we built the new website, so we're going to put a page up that will give you the secret links to all of this archive videos, and also for the International Coaching Week and Global Mentoring Week videos. Again, there's about 70 videos there as well, so you're going to get access to about 120 videos that are giving you everything from networking, webinars, mindset, creating the ideal clients, a whole raft of valuable content, which, as I say, I didn't want to lose all of that when we set up the new website. So that's our priority, hopefully by the end of this month. So I've got some work to do with Paul over the next couple of weeks to get those links built into the new website so that you can go and access all of that content alongside the new content that's the current up-to-date latest version of everything, so that you'll get you might sometimes we want 2 or 3 perspectives on the same subject. We might need to hear something in 2 or 3 different ways to make it work. So that's my my kind of mission at the moment, is to get all of that archive loaded, and that's alongside, as I say, the current new content that we're creating as part of the Business of Coaching and Mentoring program. And this program has got directly answering some of the questions that we picked up from the survey around, for example, how do I comfortably coach a sales conversation, or how do I improve my sales conversion rate? And that's the video that will be uploaded this month. How do I set my prices? And when you click on one of these videos, you'll see, so if I take, for example, if I click through to, I'm trying to, oh, sorry, my lovely, my internet banner is underneath the Zoom banner, so just let me get that screen share back. Let me try and shrink. There we go. Hopefully you can still see this. The Business of Coaching and Mentoring, Module 1, for example, you go to the page and you get the video to watch, which has got all the content in there. So everything's very interactive. It's easy to watch on mobile phones or tablets or web, laptops, wherever you are, because it's all video content. You can watch them at your own pace, pause it, stop it, start it as you go, take notes, and so on. Some of the modules will have more than one video. So module 4, for example, if I take that example, which Chantal Cornelius has recorded for us, she's an expert. Her business specialises in marketing coaches. So she really has directly relevant assistance for coaches and mentors who are looking to improve their marketing. And what she's done, which is really helpful, she's recorded her content, her training, in 2 parts. So part 1, you'll watch the part 1 video. There are worked exercises throughout the video. So you'll watch part 1, go away, do the exercises, go and work on your business, and then come back and watch the part 2 video, which then picks up and then gives the practical next steps to take. So some of the pages you'll see more than one video, some of them it's all in one video. But we're addressing all of those subject areas that are assisting with the coaching, having a business of coaching and mentoring alongside your skills development. I think that's probably all I wanted to say in terms of you navigating around it. So all of these are direct live links, and when you click on them, it takes you through to the relevant page where that module is. So it should be fairly self-explanatory. And at the very foot of it, there's a little summary that says which modules are covering which areas. So the vision and business planning is in module 1. 2 to 8 are all the practical stuff around how do we do what we do, how do we meet the needs of our clients, how do we connect with our clients, how do we choose niches, all of that kind of thing. And then some of the practical administrative stuff, there's a section on managing the money and so on. Are there any questions around navigating and finding the modules you want to find, or anything you want to ask about the program or the archive that we're about to upload?
Nikki, I haven't seen the because I'm not accredited yet, so I haven't been through this, but it looks brilliant. It looks really good. It's really helpful, and some of the coaches that I actually mentor, it's a similar thing. They have a passion, but they don't know how to get it up and running. So I think this is going to be really, really useful. And I think the archives look fabulous. So it'd be great.
Thanks. That's very encouraging. Thanks, Susie. Any other questions around the content or navigating around it or where to find it?
No.
In that case, I'll hand the screen share back to Dawn.
Okay, thank you. I'm just wondering how I get back my own screen. Okay, right. Thank you, Nikki. You're absolutely right, Susie. This is a really valuable, value-added service that Nikki has put together that will be a real godsend to the practitioners that are struggling. So, Paul, you're now in the hot seat.
Excellent. Okay.
Save the best to last. You're going to show us behind the scenes in the accredited members area.
Okie doke. I will hopefully screen share. Is that it? Oh, where are we? Oh, what's it go? Oh no. Hello. Are we there?
Yep.
Can you see my screen? Okay,
Yep.
right. Okay, Zoom all disappeared. Okay, this is the secure members area. So when you start your accreditation, you will end up coming in and logging in through this section here. Now there's various bits of information within here. We're developing this menu system as we go. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible and get you to the information that you need. So this is development in progress. So basically you've got the home members home here that brings you back to this secure area screen. Then there's an education section which takes you to the section that Nikki has just been talking about. Then there's a documents section which I'll go over in a second. There's member information here where that gives you all the information on your particular membership. So any logging in your personal details just to do with the site. Then there is directory submission so that you can submit your directory listings. And then we're creating here submitting testimonials, which is going to be so that you can submit a testimonial which will then go on the website. There's various things around that hopefully we're going to start developing soon, which goes along the lines that Henry was talking about, how you can add value to your listing within the directory. And there are review systems and hopefully some systems where we can install where you can get your clients to possibly register a testimonial for you that then links backwards and forwards from the site and the directory. But they're all things in the plan. So when one of the things that we're doing at the moment is adding all this content that Nikki's doing, and also into the documents section. Now, for those people that aren't yet accredited, we're hoping this is going to be a big help for you to get your accreditation information to us. So what you would see when you log in, as I'm logged in just as a random person to upload my information, you would see this document area, and there are various folders that have been uploaded here, such as coaching master files, mentoring, CPD information. And these are going to be broken down into useful information for you, where we're uploading at the moment information for article topics, case studies, coaching blogs, list of a load of blogs that would help you with your journey, useful websites, and then a list of webinars. But one of the main things for this is going to be that you can click on add file and upload your information. So basically, when you go into the documents section, the main area that is there are files that you have uploaded. So you can directly add a file to your system, a certificate or a scan of your log files, add them in here. They go electronically in the back end of the system, and it automatically then sends a message to the person that is in charge of accrediting your membership. So this is very much in development, but we're hopefully going to be working on this over the next month or so to enhance it. There's somebody's uploading information as I speak to some of these areas for you. There's the library section here, and then there's a useful documents section. So the useful documents section will have all of the information that you would need on, say, sample complaints procedures and things like that. So this is going to be quite a good resource for documentation that you can then use in your business. So that's the main documents area. The education area obviously is going to take you to the area that Nikki is developing here with the business of coaching and mentoring. And then the other main area that you need to get involved with is the directory submission. So you land on the page here, and if you're an accredited coach or mentor, then you would click this button to submit a new listing. Or if you're a training provider, you would then submit your listing as a training provider here. If you've already got your listing in the directory and you realize that you need to update something, then you can click on this directory listing button, and that takes you to a page where you can then edit your live listings that are in the directory. At the moment, that is the main area of the accreditation home that where we're at, but there are tons of bits and bobs that we're hoping to add in here. And we did have a live chat on the site, but we need to switch that out. It's a matter of trying to prioritize what we can get done, and at the moment we're definitely adding the value with the content that's going to help you drive your business. And that's mainly the accredited area, isn't it, Dawn?
Yes, it is. I mean, we want members to log in and see it as a resource. So whether you've got an opportunity to write an article for a newspaper and you haven't got any time, go straight to the library, look on articles, see what's been uploaded, what isn't copyrighted that you could use or quote or reference, so that very quickly you can turn an article around. Or if you're studying and you've got a thesis, you want to go to the library and do research and get statistics and surveys, etc. And obviously just running your practice on a day-to-day basis. You know, if you don't have a contract, if you don't have a complaints procedure, etc., go to the documents section, and that's where you're going to find this material. It's a work in progress. I would think this time next year there'll be hundreds and hundreds of items in there, which is why documenting it is so important at this stage, so that you can always find it. But yeah.
various things that we want to add, as Dawn was mentioning earlier about the blog and about it being a two-way conversation. We're just installing at the moment a system where you can submit guest blog posts, which will then get submitted onto the IAPC&M's blog stream. So that's going to be another thing that is going to get you out there and get you noticed. And the whole accredited area is going to be there as a big resource with the new benefits sections that are coming in, with the various companies that David and Dawn have been working with to provide the extra resources that you need, that take time to resource and find out there, that are going to help you develop that, which also links into the promotion of yourself and websites and things like that as well, doesn't it, Dawn?
Definitely.
I think one of the other things that we may end up with in the members areas as it develops is also an ask the community option, so that rather than questions always landing with sort of your members of the leadership team, and specifically Paul, because I know that Paul enjoys answering questions 24/7, is if we can set something up where people become part of a community, you can post something in there, and other coaches and other mentors and everybody else who's within the secured members area can respond, so that you get more information from more more sources to give you the opportunity then to create a better decision, or at least have more information as you go through. So there are lots and lots of things that that we can do with this.
Yeah, definitely. I think sorry, I can't remember the lady's name in the Lebanon. Getting a group
Pauline.
Is it Pauline? Definitely, with a group of people in an area like that we need to help and develop, things for you to get what you need. That's where the feedback and the two-way communication. So this members area is very important, that everybody logs in, has a look round, says, well, there isn't this, let's, could we do this or could we do that? It's definitely, we are a resource for you to help you run your coaching businesses. And that's what we're providing here, is a platform that you can find things easily. There's no point in us throwing 10-ton of encyclopedias out there and saying, there you go, get on with it. It's providing the information that you need in a structured way, such as the education area, with all of that new resources that Nick is putting together with, that mind map is amazing. It is a walkthrough of how to structure a successful business and to give you the tools to do that.
Thank you. I'm conscious of time, so I'll be wrapping up shortly, but I just want to check who has any questions for Paul about the secure members area.
Dawn, I have a question.
Please.
I have rebranded from what I was previous. I'm actually in the middle of rebranding to OMCD Consultancy, and I need to upload all my details. I don't remember my old details, but if I did do them to the old email, I no longer have access to that email. So I suppose my question is, how do I go about getting all my details loaded up again?
Is this into the directory area?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If you drop me an email with the details that you had prior and your membership details that you think are there now. Have you logged into the secure area before?
Not on this website. On the previous website, I would have logged in, uploaded, and done all that stuff. Okay,
yeah, cool. So I can send you your login information, and then all you need to do is go to directory submission. When you click on there, you then need to go to this submit a new listing button, and there's a really easy online form that can be filled in relatively quickly. There's a few tick boxes as to your information, upload your pictures, connect your bits and bobs, click submit, and it'll get sent to an admin, and then the admin have a quick look over, make sure everything's okay, tick a box, and it goes live in the directory.
Okay, and all that needs to happen then is delete the other one.
Yeah, the old ones from the old website aren't actually on this site, so
okay, so I don't need to worry.
You don't need to worry about that. That's why it's important that everybody that had a profile on the old site needs to log in and create their profiles.
Perfect, Paul. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Any other questions, please? Paul, I'd like you to finish, please, with your amazing website offer for those people who are starting out or are unhappy with their existing website and would love their own new website, please.
Okay, no worries. On the accredited home area, I put a link that takes you to an offer that we're doing, which allows you to get access to domain names, website hosting. There's a builder system option 1. You can design your own site if you want, which comes with a template. And then various options where my team of web designers can design you a site. But we've done this so it's very affordable. Basically, the first year design costs are covered in the first cost, and then it just reverts to a hosting cost. We've got UK-based servers and are expanding those all the time. And if you watch this video, it really is an exceptional system. We've honed our services for an awful long time, and it allows you to create some stunning websites. If you go on the live sample website, it gives you the demos of all of these, so you can have a little look around. If there's something that you've seen that you think you want a website like, give us a message and we can take it from there. But these are all offers exclusive for exclusive members. At the bottom as well, if you just want to have an email address or something like that, then you can use this offer code that gives you 20% off. I mean, email hosting is only £18 a year anyway, so it's good to get that professional branding with your domain name and hosting that you can rely on. But yeah, definitely check out the website page.
Well, we've had nothing but positive praise for the website you've built for us, so that's one good example. So thank you for that, Paul.
No worries.
Unless anybody has more questions, we will draw the call to a close. We have overrun by about 10 minutes, but thank you for those who were able to stay with us. I did want to end with a Q&A stroke feedback, but I will do that by email and send everybody a survey in terms of what did you like about the website? What do you think we need to tweak to make it an even better experience for you? What have we completely, overlooked that you think is important? So we can create a bit of a wish list on your behalf and then go away and prioritize it, cost it, and that will be part of phase 3 or phase 4. I've lost count now, Paul, the next stage of the development. And I just want to end by saying thank you, Paul, Nikki and David, for supporting me with this guided tour today. And thank you, everybody from all around the world for logging in for this tour, your support and your interest. And we're here for the whole of your professional journey. So for the newbies, I hope we'll be together for a long time. And the more mature, experienced people, well, you've got a VIP discount to look forward to, and a lot more support and one-to-one support as well that I don't think we had before. So thank you for engaging with us, and we look forward to supporting you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And don't forget, like, follow, and engage with us on social media. Create that unified message. That would be brilliant to have that support there as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody, and good luck.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.